Hi, and welcome to Michelle Creations. We're going to try and squeeze in just a couple more Easter projects here. This is a set of napkins that we got off of our last Temu haul. You might remember seeing the Easter bunny with the eggs. What I had forgotten about is on the other side of this napkin is an adorable little chick. So, and each, excuse my square there, that's what we're going to cut out here in a minute. I already did those prior so we could save some time, but each napkin is going to give us essentially a set of coasters because I'm going to get 2 bunnies and 2 chicks out of each napkin. So the first thing that I did, and as you can already see, I've already done 3 of them, is some time ago I took the square coaster mold that we're going to use and I poured a thin layer of clear resin. It was just the last of my bottle. This way, when I have projects like this that I want to put into a napkin, I can use this and I can see through it to see exactly what pattern I want. If I want more flowers, in this case we obviously want the bunny. I was thinking I wanted as much of his ears as I could potentially get in there. So I went as high as I could, but I don't want these eggs involved because they're going to look kind of funky in the top of our coaster, especially if you don't know what they are. So I think right about there. And I'm just going to take a pen and I'm going to trace around this coaster because this is exactly what the coaster is going to look like when it comes out. This is the size it's going to be. So we will just cut on the inside of our lines, and now we know exactly where to cut, and we know exactly what our pattern is going to look like once it goes into the mold. So super easy to do these. I do use craft resin. It is heat safe. I don't remember what the temperatures are. I'll put it on the screen here so that you can put like a hot cup of coffee or a hot tea, hot chocolate, whatever you want to on it, and you can also put your cold drinks on it. All right. So I'm just licking my fingers, and most of the time, if you just lick your fingers and then you just rub between the 2 fingers, that'll come apart, but it's not. So I'm just going to tear it, and that ought to help us get a nice tear. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to peel these apart, and then I'm going to cut these little guys out, and then we will show you what to do next. I did end up letting these cure all the way on accident, but nonetheless, they did cure. And so all I'm going to do is just take a really thin layer of some clear resin. We're just going to put it in each one of these. Spread it around. I'm going to set a timer this time and come back and check on it in about, I don't know, 10 or so minutes, because I'm going to put my heat mat on. That's why I've kind of changed the way these look a little bit. Normally I go this way so you get a better view, but my heat mat doesn't go at an angle like that. This is just a silicone brush I got at Dollar Tree. I just want to, it'll be a little easier to spread around here. I'm just going to pour the rest of this into these molds. And we'll be back when they're cured most of the way. This is the scary part. We're going to take these and we're going to lay them down in the resin. But this is a one-shot. Oh man. You really only get one shot to do this. I'm already messing with it. Sorry, concentrating. I just want to make sure that the entire napkin has changed shade of color a little bit. That shows that it is completely adhered to the resin. So I don't have any light spots or dark spots that it's all going to turn dark once it's adhered. Isn't that adorable? So cute. Alright, let's try a little shaking. I'm nervous. That worked pretty good coming from the side down. I'll try that. Yeah, that worked out great. light spots that looks like they're not attached or adhered to the resin underneath. They look good. I'm gonna give this about another 10 minutes and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pour the top coat to finish these off. Okay, we're gonna put just a smidgen of crushed crystal into our resin for the top coat. I about dumped that all over my desk. That would have been a disaster. Close that before I spill it. Okay, I ran it through my debubbler. So we've gotten most of the bubbles out, and I stirred very, very gently to get the rest of the crushed crystal mixed in, or my gremlin dust. And now I'm just gonna spritz these. These are not fully cured underneath, and that's okay. That actually helps prevent the lines in between the layers. You just want to dome these. And we'll be back when they're ready to demold. Okay, these are fully cured. And the next step is to take these cork backs that we have. These are just a smidgen too big, but I'll trim them all down. And we are going to go ahead and unmold these. You get a really pretty white back on them, which isn't going to matter because we are going to cover that with our coaster cork board. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my coaster and I'm actually going to use my blank. That way I don't accidentally mark on my finished product. And this is a better side. And I'm going to put the back just about, oh, I don't know, I'd say maybe a 1/16 of an inch in from the edge. That way my cork is not going to have any chance of hanging over the edge of our finished product. Scissors out. And cut just on the inside of that score mark, or the pen. If your pen actually works. Mine did not actually do it, but I got a score mark there. There we go. And then I just like to take my weeding tool. That helps get a hold of that back. Our coaster over, and I like to flip it over on the mold. That way we don't scratch the front of it. Get that nice and squared. And there we go. Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh, that is so stinking cute. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the other 4. And there we go, they are done. Keep in mind that when you make coasters, it takes a solid 4 weeks, better to have 6, for these to fully cure and be able to put anything on them. At this point, if you put something hot on it, you're gonna leave a ring on it. So make sure you let your coaster sit for 4 weeks, a minimum of 4 weeks, preferably closer to 6. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will have these on our Etsy store for anybody that might like these maybe to use next Easter. You can put them out this Easter, but I definitely wouldn't use them this Easter. I'd use them next year. And I hope you all have a fantastic day, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.